Honestly, being a mom in the modern world can be totally overwhelming, no matter how well prepared you were going into motherhood. Throw in any additional challenge, like a financial struggle, a court battle, loss of a close family member, disability, emotionally unhealthy partner, moving, major job change, going back to school, car accident, and you have a recipe for major burnout. I would know. I've been through all of those things over the last 12 years as a solo mom, and I don't have family anywhere nearby to help out with any of those things. Today, I'm going to share 5 reasons why I've not only survived as a solo mom, but managed to come through with my relationships and my mental health intact. I mean, there are those who would argue about the mental health, but whatever. So, look, if I can avoid total burnout as a solo mom with limited resources and limited family support, you can too. And I'm going to show you how. Hi there, I'm Teresa, and I've been a solo mom for over a dozen years, and I've been studying human beings for over 40. Really, I have multiple degrees in anthropology and an obsession with understanding what makes for a good and meaningful human life. And I've discovered a few things about that over the years, and I'm here to share them with you. Today, we're discussing resiliency, how to not drown in the waves of the storms that life brings to you. So let's jump right in with number 1, change your assumptions. Change your assumptions about life and about what truly matters. If you suddenly find yourself in a hard place, it's going to force you into thinking small thoughts and surviving in the moment. But you can't afford a short-term view as a mom. You have to zoom out and see the big picture in order to survive this season. So, what matters in life? Financial stability? Getting ahead in your career so that your kids don't have to suffer the way that you did when you were a kid? Having a spacious, clean, neat home that you aren't ashamed of? Reliable transportation so you don't have to worry about car repairs? Maybe taking family vacations to that destination site so you can unwind from work and create memories for your kids? These are all good things, but they don't actually matter. It seems like they do. I'm sorry. I know. It really seems like they do matter, and everything in the modern world tells you that they do. And that's exactly why modern parenting is so freaking hard. We fall for it. We all do. We believe if we work hard enough, we'll get to the point where we won't have to work so hard. We believe if we sacrifice the now for the future, that it will be worth it. And of course, there's a little bit of truth to both of those, right? They're not completely wrong, but somehow, have you noticed? The future never seems to come. The goal gets moved back further and further every time that you get close to it. If you're sacrificing in the now, your mental health, your physical health, your connection to your child or your loved ones in search of that future goal, you are at grave risk of losing sight of what truly matters and of losing the big picture. So the scary thing is, you might succeed and you might actually get the thing, right? The nice house, the new car, the job promotion that gives you more money, but forces you to work even harder. And you just end up spending all of that extra money trying to survive the job by getting takeout and buying all the gadgets that promise to make life easier and upgrading the car because you don't have time to worry about car repairs anymore. So, look, and here, listen, it's not that you can't have nice things. It's not that you can't have any of these things. You can. But they should always be secondary to what truly matters, especially if and when you're going through a hard time. I promise you from the bottom of my heart, with many years of experience, I promise you, they will not fulfill you. These things are not going to bring you joy. Only temporary pleasure that fades really quickly. Okay? So they're not going to be worth what you gave up in order to get them if what you gave up was your own mental well-being. Can I say it? If what you gave up was your own mental well-being, or your family connections, or time with good friends, like meaningful time that nourishes you with good, honest friends, or your relationship with your kids, Like, no. Our relationships and our mental health are what determine the quality of our lives more than any other single earthly thing, okay? So if you're burning out because you're trying to get ahead out of fear of the future, I can relate to that, or desire for more, or embarrassment of where you are now, this is a great time to stop. Now is a great time to examine your assumptions about what truly matters, okay? Put your family and your health first and subjugate everything else. Okay, number 2. This one's closely related, and it's actually how you put number 1 into practice. So this one is get more of a buffer, more space. Live below your means financially, emotionally, time-wise, work-wise, whatever it is. Build buffers around you in every area of your life where it's going to make a difference for you. So for me, one of my greatest struggles in life is time. I want to believe time is not even real, and physics kind of backs me up a little bit sometimes on this. But so listen, if you're familiar with Enneagram personality types, I'm a 5 with a strong 6 wing, which means, for those of you who are not familiar, I only have like at the most 80% of the energy that you have, that any normal person has. I have a lot less energy than everyone else, right? And I also get to struggle with fear of the future, fear of the unknown. I have plenty of good fears. So part of the reason for both of these is because I'm always really up in my head. I'm like a thinking person, and what that means is I have this amazing, vibrant inner life, which I love and would never want to give up. I mean, I am never bored, y'all, okay? But I never seem to have enough time or energy for, I don't know, normal daily tasks like cooking or exercising or just adulting in general. At the end of the workday, I am wiped out. Like, there is just nothing left, okay? So for me, building a big time buffer in my life has really helped me to thrive. And I've mainly done this by choosing to work part-time for most, of the last 12 years whenever I could as a solo mom, or working from home whenever I could, and just taking the financial trade-off. Believe me, I would have liked the extra money. I would like it right now. I'm actually only working part-time right now. But I have to tell you, I don't regret it one bit. I have never regretted that decision. I worked full-time for the first couple of years of my current job, and it's an extremely demanding job. And the burnout was just overwhelming, and it was not worth the money. So right before I received a major pay raise for having been there for a certain amount of time, I switched over to part-time work. And I ended up keeping the same salary I'd already been used to, but I was only working 30 hours a week instead of 40. And in that job, I've never taken overtime, even though it's been freely available, because I am afraid of becoming dependent on that money, and I know myself too well. So I just don't even go there. And you know yourself really well also, right? So if you're struggling, it's probably because you need more buffer somewhere in your life. And maybe your stress is financial, so get on top of your budget, okay? And start spending less, like period. There's no loophole. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. Like, that's just what you have to do if you need more financial buffer. And if your main stress is physical because you need to lose weight or exercise, cut your calories. There's no loophole. There's no way around it, right? Unless you're like a person who can run miles and miles every day. God bless you. I am not that person. I don't run at all. And I admire you. Then you can eat all the calories you want, right? If you can do that. But look, otherwise you're going to have to cut your calories. You're just going to have to. And believe it or not, you'll get used to it over time. Nothing is as hard as it seems. You always get used to the new, right? You can adapt. Humans are very adaptable. So, actually, the cutting the calories thing is something that I have needed to do in the past, and that I am maybe even currently working on. And the way that I do this and save time, which is the true enemy, my true arch enemy, is by standardizing my meals. I actually standardize breakfast, morning snack, lunch, afternoon snack, and even my late night dessert, which is dark chocolate. So I'm a happy girl. I get to eat all of the things that I like. I'm not suffering, but I get to save time and I don't have to think nearly as much. I actually made a video about this. If you're interested on that, in that video, then I will put a link above. You can click on that. So check that out if you want to. But I think you get the idea, right, about the buffer. So yeah, you're going to have to give something up to get that buffer zone, but the mental peace, the freedom that it brings is what's going to help you to get through this season without burning out. And if you want to go back to being wild and reckless later in your life, you go for it. You can do that, right? When maybe you have a little bit more time and mental clarity and you're not in a hard place or whatever. But I'm telling you right now, even though you might be in a hard place and it seems very difficult to do the hard thing while you're in a hard place, it's totally worth it. Really, it is. Get that buffer. You're going to see. And if you do it right, you can meet all of your needs. You can have peace and presence, and it will actually overflow into the lives of the people around you, which will actually help you to be stronger and more resilient because your relationships will be thriving. And again, this is what makes for a good and meaningful life. So, my third, fourth, and fifth pieces of advice. Faith, hope, and love. These are the things that will sustain you in your journey. And these are kind of all about your inner orientation to the external world and to God. If you're not a spiritual person, don't drop out on me. I was an atheist for many years. I understand how you feel. There's no need to throw out the baby with the bathwater. You can just substitute the word universe or the meaning of life or whatever is comfortable for you for God, if you want to. You know, that's an easy way to hear what I'm saying and apply it to your own life, okay? So faith. This is your belief about who God is and what your relationship to God or the universe is. If you have the belief that God is inherently good, that God is love, then your outlook and your inner life will reflect that. And if you believe that God knows you personally and chose you and wants you, how could that not change your outlook, right? It will change you. And if you believe that God did not want to bring you this difficult time, but that with your permission, He'll use it for your own good and maybe even for the good of the people around you in the end, how could you not win? You will make it through stronger, okay? And listen, I'm not going to pretend here I'm a real person, okay? At times my faith has faltered hard. It's fallen hard at times, okay? At one point I was so broken by the circumstances in my life, I didn't even know if my faith could be salvaged. But God is extremely patient and He plays the long game, okay? He was willing to wait for me, and when I was ready, He took me by my hand and He led me along to a better place. I'm in that better place now, and He'll do the same for you. He doesn't want your perfection. He wants you. He wants you in your brokenness and in your weakness because that is where He can do the most good, okay? Listen, if you're getting any value from this video, would you mind just taking a second and giving it a like? If you like it, then chances are other people would like it as well, but YouTube won't know that unless, you guessed it, you like the video. So I appreciate it. Thanks so much. All right, let's move on to hope. So can I give you a solid piece of advice? I know I'm giving a lot of advice today. Get off the social media and the news. If you're going through a hard time right now, you don't need it. Honestly, you don't ever need it, but you especially don't need it if you're going through a hard time. And I'm telling you this from the bottom of my heart as a person who has been through some really hard times, okay? So social media, the news, these things are a recipe for mental health disaster, really. Especially when you're vulnerable because you're facing a hard time. Also, and I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but you're not that important, okay? You don't need breaking news about that localized disaster far away, and you don't need to know every detail about the inner workings of some other state government. You don't even live in that state. It just doesn't even matter. And you have no power at all to change any of these events that are taking place in the world. You're just not that important. And the more that you focus on them, the more helpless you're going to feel. And the more you're going to be distracted from the one thing that you can change, which is you. All right? You don't need that celebrity update. You don't need to consume content that makes you envious of what others have or that makes you feel that your own life is less than. I've been through this. I went through this. I literally stopped watching HGTV like 10 years ago because I realized it was so bad for me. And I don't miss it. It's funny. Like, I don't miss it at all. If you're feeling like your anxiety and your tension are rising inside of you, it's probably because these platforms are feeding off of your mental health. They're degrading your life. They really are. And they're prospering because of it. Oh, you should not be happy about this. This is a bad thing. Okay? If you're having a hard time quitting these platforms, just seek out help. Like, there's plenty of resources out there. Most of them are free. If you are really worried that you don't know how to vote, if you aren't up to date on everything, don't worry. Like, I promise you'll still know everything that you need to know to be able to vote. Try it, see for yourself. The world will not leave you alone. All right? You're still going to know all the important news from friends and family, work, school. People are not going to leave you alone. You're going to hear all about it. Okay? And if you're that worried about it, after you've taken a break for a while, you could sign up for like a nonpartisan email newsletter. I like the Pour Over, but there are others out there as well. Really, you can find one, and it's not going to have these inflaming headlines that are going to stress you out. You'll get some basic information. You'll get enough information without your emotions being manipulated. Okay? So listen, stop consuming trash if you don't want to crash, right? Okay. Start consuming things that bring you hope or joy or build you up. And maybe even better advice, just consume less overall. Spend more time with real people in your real life. All right, my final one today is love. Be a good person. Surround yourself with good people. If you're an open, loving, honest person who's trustworthy and builds up the people around you, guess what? You're going to attract the same kind of person to yourself. However, you may also attract the kind of person who would like to take advantage of your goodness and benefit from a relationship with you without giving anything back. I would know. So you have to be discerning. First, be a good person yourself and examine your inner self and inner motivations and be discerning about who you are, right? But then second, examine the relationships in your life to see if they're life-giving or life-taking. And consider spending less time or maybe no time at all with people who are takers only. I'm not talking about good and loving people who are going through a hard time and need your support and love for a season to help them through. Like, we're all that person at times. You may be that person right now, right? And if you are, try not to feel too guilty about it. Because the thing about good people is that they will generally want to help. And your biggest battle might actually be learning how to accept that help. It was a big battle for me. But I would really caution you, strongly caution you against taking help from someone that is less than loving, that is manipulative or unhealthy or controlling, because you can be sure they are coming back for payment. Okay? They don't understand how to give freely. You don't want to owe a person like that. Okay? But on the other hand, ask yourself, are you willing to help others who are in need and not expect anything in return? If you are that kind of person, don't be surprised if the people around you show you the same love and care and compassion when you need it. So when I left my abusive marriage 12 years ago with my 2-year-old in tow, I didn't even have a car to my name. But my incredibly kind and generous friends, Melissa and Matt, gave me their late model 4Runner. Like, they signed it over to me, put it in my name, and gave it to me. Who does that, right? Later, when I couldn't afford the ongoing attorney's fees to protect my kid in court, my loving neighbor Annelle gave me the cash I needed to continue that battle. And when I couldn't afford childcare or school fees, my amazing friends Jess and Adam stepped in and provided all of that and so much more. Okay. I never expected these things from anyone, but these are all good and loving people, and they want to see other good people win. They want the underdog to come out ahead, just like you do if you're a good person. They want to take part in making the world a better place. I didn't get to know these people in order to get gifts from them, right? I got to know them because they were wonderful people. I knew them all before. Well, I didn't know my neighbor before because I didn't get to know her until I actually moved with my daughter, but I knew most of them beforehand. So, but the thing is, like, if I was the kind of person who was a self-centered taker, they wouldn't have been friends with me in the first place, right? Like, we attract the people that we're like. So, love. Start loving people. Start right now. Maybe you don't have any money or cars to give, that's fine. But you probably have maybe a listening ear, compassion, a meal to share, whatever it is. Okay? Make a practice of loving others and learn to love yourself and have hope and faith for your future. Build buffers in your life. Prioritize what matters. What you're doing is so hard. It really is. But it's not the end of your journey. This is not the end. All right? Don't crash and burn. Be resilient. Take the steps you need to take to make it through this season and come out on the other side with stronger and better relationships with those you love. It's no good. It's no good getting through a hard time if on the other side of it you end up resentful and burned out with damaged relationships all around you. Okay. If you're finding these videos helpful, please click over here and subscribe. And listen, it's hard to keep track of one little channel. And if you don't subscribe, you'll probably lose me forever to all of the content that is all over YouTube, right? And if you're feeling overwhelmed in this season of life with problems and tasks and issues that need to be solved, this video over here is for you. So, sometimes all we have to do is ask the right question for clarity. That video will help you to do it. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video.